All right, so I did some calculations, figured out what this would need to be. And so if this was an 80, all right, so we'll just do this end version. Actually, I guess I'll have to do more than just the end, but I'll have to multiply it out. So I could just take the previous work and see what it would change to be, but to be honest, it's kind of safer just to start from scratch. Well, just the one number, but here we go. So the -5 and the x minus 2 times the x minus 2 plus the 80. Oops, I missed my -5 there. So we'd have the -5, we'd have the x squared. I'll do it in green like I did last time. There and there and there and there. So that's going to give us an x squared and a -2x and another -2x and a +4. Because negative x times -2 is -2x, and then -2 times x is another -2x, and -2 times -2 is 4. So that gives us an 8, or we have the 80 out there still, I should say. So then we'd have the -5 multiplying onto an x squared, multiplying onto a -4x. So that's going to give us a -20x. And then onto a 4, so we get a -20. That's all the same as before. But we're adding an 80 this time. So we end up with a 60 out front, out in the end. So we're going to factor out the -5 from that. So we're going to factor out -5. -5 comes out front. So we have this version of a standard form here. Oof. Trying to make a correction and making as many mistakes this time around. So minus divided by the -5 gives us a +4. And the 60 divided by 5, let's just be clear here, you don't need to worry about times tables and whatnot. So you do your 60 divided by 5. Oops. 60 divided by 5 gives us, divided by 5. Full disclosure, I'm doing this on a Friday. So yeah, 12. So -12. So now when we go to do factors, a 1 and a -12, a 1 and a 1, and you can see a 6 and a 2 would work for that probably, right? So a 6 and a 2. If you can see that, or you try 4 and 3 first, and so on, and then it doesn't work. So you eventually get this one. Can we get a 4 here? Well, yeah, we can, as long as the 2 is the -1, so that has to be negative. So that means that my factored form would be what? We'd have the 1x and the 1x, and we'd have a 6 and a -2. And so now the question was to get the answer to how long it's in the air for. Okay, so basically for how long it's in the air, we need the zeros. So let's go back and point that out. Really, mathematically, we need the zeros, right? Picture this cannon shot, like this, and we're going to find the 0, which is going to be the answer. There's probably going to be a -0, which was before it was launched, right? So we're going to set this equal to 0 for good reason. And we're going to say, if that's 0, that's 0, which we can tell easily gives us an answer of x equals 2 and x equals -6. And so that means that the cannonball lands after 2 seconds. Right? So the GeoGebra graphing version of this is up here somewhere as well. Where am I going? Up here. Oh, I might have closed it. Yeah, I did. Yo. So the quadratic 80, right? So let me go back. I have too many things open right now. We need, let's just go with the original equation, I guess, -5 x minus 2 squared, negative 5 times x minus 2 power of 2. And we said plus 80. I switched it to. So this one here, if I go say zoom to fit, snaps it so we can see it. And so we get answers of 0, 6. I must have made an error with my signs on it as well. Not my day today. But so it did change. It's a slightly different question, but I just wanted to show the idea of how you get the zeros in the end. Go back and see what the was to do with negatives here. For the negative. The algebra wrong here. 5 x minus 2. All right, found a mistake. Well, so you might have noticed as I was running this through here, when I did the minus 5 onto the minus 4x, that would have been a plus 20. So it's just a case of not showing as much steps, right? If I had have shown this, I might have been more likely, I think I would have been more likely to see that I've got a positive answer. But I tried to do a little bit in my head there, and I got caught. And that's something that students have to recognize as well. So sometimes making a mistake like that kind of good actually to happen in teaching, because then you help show, like, the more work you show, the more likely they are to get the right answer, right? So this right here, I have to just erase that plus 4, make it be a minus 4. That's a minus 4. And then that means we need this to be a minus in the end, which means that this needs to be a minus up here to get the minus 4, which means that the signs are the opposite way. Plus the minus 6, which gives us a minus 2 not being the answer we're interested in, and a plus 6 being the answer we are interested in. So that means this is after 6 seconds. The previous would have been like, oh, you could have launched it 2 seconds before from lower down instead of starting from an initial height of whatever that initial height would have been. At this stage here, the initial height would have been 60. For this version of the question. So sorry for the mistakes, but it's kind of good to see the process of working through things and finding mistakes, I suppose. So I think I'll just leave it. All right, here we go. I could redo the video and look like I never make mistakes, but that's not very realistic. So there you go.